All right, everyone. Welcome back. Tuesday. It's a new week. It's a new month as well. 2nd of July now. So the way I like to look at it is 60% of the time. 50% of the year has gone. And, I hope everyone is making good choices, is actually working towards the goals that you set for yourself, at the beginning of the year. And look, if you guys need any help towards education or anything, we have a bunch of professionals at ACY. We have very good qualified people. So if you need any help towards, building a strategy, Nathan Bray is the go. He's always helping you, everyone. Every time I have a question or anything, I go there, talk to him, and vice versa. If you guys want to open an account with us, you can open up a demo, or you can call us and talk to Nathan Yin, or even Suvan, Nathan Bray, George, or Lachlan. We have all of the very good qualified people to help you get you onboarded. So today we're going to be looking at euro dollar. We're going to be looking at gold and some other pairs. But I'm very excited to present what I've planned for today, and that will be the euro dollar descend but uptrend. Okay, so euro dollar is actually, we had a massive move down. Let me take my MetaTrader here for a second, so you guys can see here that we had this huge gap. All right, you guys can see this, right? Let me check. Yeah, you can. That's good. So we had this huge gap down here. Up. The candle closed it here, and then we open up all the way on here. Sorry, white is not the best color, so let me use this orange. So we had a close of the market on here, and we had a open of the candle on top here. So this is a big gap. All right, and I want to explain a little bit why is that happening. Okay, because when we look to the economic calendar, when we look to the data coming from USA, and compare it to the data coming from Europe, we can see that it's such a mixed point. All right, and that's another topic I want to discuss as well. Even if we have, I've always told everyone, right? I've always told everyone here, if you know me for a bit of time, you know that I always say you have to trade fundamentals, right? But in this case, when you have one of the sides, right, like you have euro being strong on the fundamental side, okay, on the data, but you have US dollar being weak, all right, weaker on the fundamental data, on the data aspect. But euro supposed to go up and US dollar supposed to go down. So therefore, we would continue to have this trend up. Isn't that correct? Well, what is happening here then? We are up and then now all the way down. So, and I want to talk about as well, if you're not following us on the YouTube, I've been mentioning already, but we had this 0.2% gap here. All right, 0.2% gap on the price here on the Monday open yesterday. So that's pretty much it, what we're going to be looking today. So let's go for dot points. So first one is we're going to be looking at euro dollar, euro, and US dollar data. And then we're going to be understanding understand the fundamentals. Context. And in the end, we're going to be looking at some pairs. So that's pretty much the agenda for today. Does anyone have any questions? You can ask me. Just send the question on the chat. All right. You can send your questions. You can send your questions here. And I will be able to answer you once I have some time and look at the screen on my side. All right, guys. So let's start it. This one goes here, and we come to here. All right. So yesterday we had some data coming from Europe, and we had some data coming from USA. All right. Strangely enough, the data coming from Europe was pretty good. The PMIs there in the Euro area was pretty good. Okay. Nothing crazy, but more than expected. All right. Therefore, Euro is stronger on the data aspect, isn't it? Well, that is correct. So if we look here at the economic calendar, we did had the first release of data coming at 5:15. Okay, and we had the HCOP Spain manufacturing PMI coming lower than what the consensus was expecting. After that, we had Italy manufacturing PMI at 5:45, and we had it much better than expected, 45.7. Then what they expected was 44.3. That was expected to basically do a decline. But indeed, but in reality, it actually was better than the previous. Okay, so that's pretty good. 5:50, we had the France manufacturing PMI coming higher than expected as well, but lower than the previous, but still higher than expected. German manufacturing, I've always said that, all right? I always mention that German has a big portion of Europe. Okay, so German is pretty much 60% of Europe. If I'm not too wrong, let me just double check. How big is German on Europe in percentage? Let's see. Yeah, so the European countries with German-speaking majorities are Germany. So they have 78.3 million people. What percentage of Europe is German? So German is the main language. So 13.3% of all Europeans, pretty much. Okay, so German is a big country on Europe, all right? And therefore, we always need to pay attention for the data coming from there, right? So the German manufacturing PMI came in higher than expected, one tick higher than expected, but lower than the previous, okay? And then we had all of these release from German that we don't need much. Okay, so we're not going to be looking at those now. And then we had another set of data coming from Europe again. So we had German CPI coming lower, but lower than the consensus, but still the same as the previous. Okay. And then we had this is the month over month, and then we had the year over year coming lower than the expected and lower than the previous. So that's good. Okay, that's pretty good. But in overall, we did had a bunch of positive data for Europe. Okay. Then the most intriguing points are today's date. Oopsie, sorry. We have one more here. So yeah, the S&P Global US Manufacturing PMI, talking about USA now, came in much lower than, sorry, it came in lower than what was the consensus. Consensus was 51.7, and the actual was 51.6. All right. So therefore, that was lower. I know it was only a tick lower, but still lower. So we had a mix of pretty much a mix of good and bad data for Europe, but majority being good. Oh yeah, there we go. Eurozone manufacturing PMI came in higher than expected. All right, lower than the previous, but still higher than expected. And that is pretty much it. I think I've covered everything. And then today we had the construction spending, construction spending, ISM manufacturing employment, ISM manufacturing PMI, ISM manufacturing prices, and what else? Atlanta Fed GDP now. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 5 data from USA. And guess what? All of the 5 data came in lower than expected. Okay. So if we look to here, the construction spending, all right, came in negative. So that means that construction wise haven't been too good for USA on the month of May. ISM manufacturing employment came in lower than expected and lower than the previous. All right. Previous was 51.1. The actual came in at 49.3. And consensus was 50. So they were already expecting a decline, but not the, very steep decline. This is not too important for the market. And then we had very big important news. All right. Both ISM manufacturing PMI and manufacturing prices, both of them came in lower than expected and lower than the previous. Okay. So we had 48.5 for manufacturing PMI, as the consensus was expecting 49.2, and the previous was 48.7. And for the manufacturing prices, we had 52.1 actual, as the forecast 55.8, and the previous 57. Okay, so that was really, really bad. Okay, this one here was very bad. And even so, we had Atlanta Fed GDP now much lower as well. So 1.7%, as the market was expecting 2.2, and the previous was 2.2. So the market wasn't expecting a growth on the GDP second quarter. But indeed, they did had a pretty big decline, I would say, to 1.7. That's really not good. So put in this perspective, right? We had all the data coming in. Don't forget about yesterday data on USA as well, because we had the manufacturing PMI, the S&P Global US Manufacturing PMI, and it came in at 51.6. I know it's 0.1% different, but it is lower than what is forecasted to be. So now we take in consideration, have a look at the whole structure of, the market and think about it. Look, euro dollar, it continues to fall. The main reason, it went down here, it's for one thing that we're gonna get there in a second. But we can't forget that all these, when we have a gap, the gap must be filled, okay, by the market, right? You can't have a price like this without getting filled. So most probably we will fill it, this price, and we will continue to go up, and you guys will know why. All right. Does anyone have any questions towards now? Is it all good? I think it's pretty clear, right? So we just had a look at the data from Europe and from USA. We saw that the data from Europe was much better than the data from USA, and that the USA data is not looking good at all. Okay. So therefore, why is euro dollar going down? Well, one of the reasons, yes, of course, is the gap. Okay. So every time we have a gap, I think we had one somewhere around here, I think was here. Maybe it's not showing on trading view. So let me get my MetaTrader. So we had a gap here as well. Can you see that? Let me get my pen. Let me put in purple. So we had this gap here. Okay, that the market had to come and fill it out later on. And we are having another one right now. That is this one that the market is filling up. So yes, one of the primary reasons is the gap that is widely open on the session. But that's not only the one, okay? I want to ask you guys, what do you think it could potentially be? What do you think it could be? Tell me. I'm going to give you 1 minute so you could think about it, okay? And interpret what you can potentially think it can be. I'll give you a minute. Let's see how you guys going. No one? Okay, let's go. Could we say that the whole good data comparison and gap can be a bullish bias for this month or week? Oh, that's a really good point. Let's see who else have other answers. But thanks for that, Sweetie. That does look pretty good answer, mate. Okay. So no one have anything else to say? Okay, that's not a problem. All right. So, okay, there we go. German prelim CPI month over month. Right. Okay. All right. So let me get straight to the point. So there are a few reasons. Okay. Let me get my pen here. So we need to understand that it's not only one reason. All right. So we got on the first part already. We looked at the data and we saw that Europe has good data equals good data, right? And we looked at the USA data and we saw that it's a very bad data, okay? So that's what we've just done. Now, during the weekend, something happened, all right? Oopsie. So during the weekend, I don't know if you guys have watched my video, but there is a election going on France. I think most of you probably know about this, right? So right now, they have a left side on the power, okay? Left side on the power, it's usually not great for the economy, okay? Usually it's not great for the economy. Therefore, there are another party fighting to get the left side off from the power, so then they can get on the power, the right side. And the right side, usually it's pretty good for the economy because they look for growth. They look for the GDP, gross domestic product, grow. They are looking for low expenses. They're looking for more competition towards business, because they think that the capitalist is better if, you know, if the money circulates around, as of the left side is much more as a socialist side, and they think that everyone has to share it, everyone has to pay more for the government, and so on. What would you think if you know, maybe you live on a country that it's a socialist country? I don't know where you guys from. So this is why I asked you on the beginning, so I could, you know, could relate some topics. But so let's say you're from France, you've lived in there for 5 years, and you see that the euro is going down on these 5 years. Because if we looked at, all right, let me put on a daily chart. If you look at since 2020, the euro has only gone down. Only gone down. All right, 13% compared to the US dollar as of now. But the deepest point was 22% on the 2022. Yeah. So when you living in Europe, you want to have a good currency. You want to have a, you know, you want to be strong currency, so you can go spend for cheaper on other places, right? You can travel, you can have a good life quality, and so on. So same do investors, all right? Investors think that the Socialist Party, the left side party, it's not good for France as well. And there were some rumors going around before Sunday that the left party was gaining more strength and they would win the elections again. Okay? So I'm simplifying a lot of what's going on. Well, actually, they weren't. That was just like sort of a manipulation of the media saying that they were winning so everyone would vote on them. But we got the released on Sunday a vote pool where it shows that the right party has 33% of the votes and the left party has only 22% of the votes. So therefore, the right party is 10% ahead of the left party, and that's exactly what the investors want. They want the right party to gain the elections. So this makes it very simple to see that on the weekend we have an election. Okay, and then from this election we had the vote pool. And then from the vote pool, we could see that the right side, RS, is winning from the left side by 10%. We're going to get to these numbers in a second, all right, by 10%. So, let's go everything again. So in the weekend, we had an election, and then the vote of this election came up, and then it shows that the right side is winning from the left side by 10%. And the right side is what the investors want, okay? If the right side gets on power, then euro is stronger, okay? But if the left side, for any other reason, gets on power, continues on power, sorry, then the euro is weakening, okay? So the main reason why this gap has happened is because, oops, sorry, here, is because of this vote pool that is going on France at this moment. Everything clear? Everyone can understand that? All good. Perfect. So let me take all of this drawing off. Let me grab this guy, and then France elections pools. So politico.eu is a very good trustable source of these types of information about politics. Okay, agree. So there we go. So here we are. The right N, the RN, so that's the National Rally Alliance. They're winning, that's the right side, they're winning by 33.25%. As the NFP, the New Popular Front, is on 28.63%. So therefore, sorry, I've lied to you guys. It's not 10%. It's less than 10%. It's 6%. All right. Sorry for that. But here we have, all right, the less Republican is only a minus 6.55%. And then the NANS, that is the ensemble, is on 20.94%. So let's say 21% here, 29% here, 7% here, and 34% here. Okay. And then others are 10%. So this is pretty good. This is pretty good for euro, because this demonstrates for investors that yes, the market is looking for the left side. Yeah, the left side get off from the power. Okay. Now we have a very good question from Switz here, and he asks, does that mean the pair could be in range till the election is over? That is completely correct. And this is the exactly next point I want to touch base. So this is only the first round of the elections. Okay, this is only the first round of the elections. In 4 days, we're going to have the second round of voting for the parliament. Okay, so we can see down here that this is the European election 2024 results. We have 81 seats, and pretty much this is how it would be distributed right now. Okay, but in 4 days, we're going to have, I think it's on the 7th. Yeah, today is 2. So it could be on the 6th and could be on the 7th. Just depends where you are around the world. But for me, it will be on the 7th. So on the 7th of July, that will be let me check on my calendar. Oh, I can't check my calendar. Oh, there we go. So the 7th will be on Sunday again. Okay. Prepare yourself for next Monday open, be a bit shaky again. Now, there are basically 2 outcomes, okay, that I can see here. You need to understand one thing, that this 10% here, it's not going to do anything. This 7% here is not going to do anything as well. And this 20% can do something. But the 28 and the 33 are the majors holders, okay? Now, what could happen? This is a speculative movement by me, okay? What could happen is this 10% get off, all right? Then they would have, the voters that voted on the 10% would have to vote in someone, okay? Same goes for the 7%. And there we have another 17% of votes to be distributed for those guys. If for any instance, all right, all the 17% goes to NFP here for the New Popular Front, then this would be very not good. Okay. If the 17% goes for RN, then this will be very good for Europe. Okay. Not Europe, I mean Euro. Okay. I'm not choosing any political side here. I'm just presenting the fact. But if the 17% gets splitted by those 3, okay, so that means 17 divided by 3 is 5.6% goes for each one. So the 28% would go for 33%, and the 33% would go for 39%, and the 21% would go pretty much for 26%. Okay. So there you have it. All right. These are the facts why we had a huge gap on the open for Europe. All right. Sorry, on euro dollar. Now, this is only one part of why, this is one part of the move of euro dollar, the up move. Now we need to understand what happened here. Okay, so let's go for the 1 minute chart. 1 minute chart would go here. All right. Can you see this? This is a huge gap, isn't it? This is another 0.12% gap on a normal day. All right, that was midnight for me on I think it was midnight. Let me check. It was 5:10. Yeah, that was like 3 a.m. for me, 3 to 4 a.m. for me in Australia time. So that happened while I was sleeping, and I just saw this morning. But I was very intrigued. Why did this happen? Because we had a very good opening on Monday, and now we had very bad data from USA. So why did that happen? And I want to ask you again, what do you guys think that made this down move so strong? And what do you guys think that could potentially make this a sustainable move? All right. As you're thinking, I'm going to get to the website. Not a problem. All right. So we had, I just want to show you here this part here, okay? Trump immunity ruling means any trial before elections unlikely. So justices split 6 against 3 along ideological lines on Trump's bid. Majority tells lower courts to revisit over official conduct. So what does that mean? So this got out exactly at the moment of these data releases. Okay, so the data was at midnight. Okay, and this, sorry, let me take this off. And the data and this release was midnight 30. When I wake up, I looked at the notifications on my mobile, and I was like, I got it, why it happened. Okay, so what does that mean? Again, we're having elections on USA. All right, everyone is already bold to know that Trump and Biden are disputing again for US elections. Okay, USA elections. Okay, we have Biden and we have Trump. Okay. On Friday, last Friday, we have a debate against those two. Okay. That was pretty simple to see that Biden wasn't fit for the role. All the questions that the presenter asked him, all the questions that even Trump asked him, he couldn't answer properly. He was just, murmuring around. Again, I'm not taking any political expose here or any, I prefer Trump over Biden or this over that. No, I'm just presenting you the facts. So when we look for something like this, the market thinks, look, if the guy can't even talk properly, how he will manage the country and how will he manage the currency, He's not a manager of the currency, but he does have some political exposure on the central bank that has the manager of the currency. So the market was like, oh, wait a minute. So if he gets on power again, the economy won't be pretty good, because if we look to the growth since Trump's get off, it wasn't too good. And Biden is sort of a left side as well. So sorry, Steve, I think Joe Biden is running the country. You mean he will win the election? That's what you try to say. Okay, so coming back. So pretty much, when we look to USA election, Biden against Trump, we look at these and we think, oh, there we go, everything again, right? We can get some good memes out of it. But the market looked at it and think, well, Biden is much better to run the country than the Biden. So, but he's still convicted to some 32 crimes or something around those lines, right? Well, not anymore, because 6 against 2 judges voted to have a revisit on on Trump cases, and he may get eligible again to do the presidency. All right. So then the market got happy because the news came out. This news came out. And then we have the whole context of the market. So pretty much we got all the fundamentals, put it up all together, and understand now what is the market looking at and what is the market not looking at. Okay. So what is the market looking at right now? The market is looking at elections. France election. We do have UK election as well, but it's another topic. And it's looking at USA election as well. Okay. So Europe and USA having elections at the same time, and a very, 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 very carefully need to present the facts. Okay. Because it is a very, how can I say that, a very sensitive topic for the economy. Okay. So this is why the market is the way it is at the moment. You know, a few gaps here, a few gaps there, going up, going down, and we sort of don't know how to predict it. So Steve, Switzy was saying that, does that mean the pair could be in range till the election is over? Yes, there is, correct. So most probably we will see euro dollar on a range here, okay, until the election is over. Maybe it could potentially close this gap and continue to have a up move, okay, until 108. 108 here. Okay, that could potentially happen. Okay, but to play safe, I would say that yes, the major thing right now is the market consolidated. Okay, so voila, there we have it. So let's go for everything again. So we looked at the data. USA data is very, very bad, and Europe data is pretty good. So the data that the data that is being released, the market is not looking at it at this moment. Why is not this the data the market looking at? Because they do not care at this moment, as they know that they have much more important things for pay attention. And these are Joe Biden and Trump, and left side and right side disputing power on France. So we can expect already a very volatile week. If anything happens with Biden or Trump, it can affect the market. If anything's happened with, right side or left side on France, this can definitely impact the market as well. The reason is why the market didn't react negatively, the US dollar didn't react negatively towards the bad data from the USA, is because of the Trump possibly getting elected again. Okay, and we can see here that the market didn't even flinch, okay, towards the bad data. Okay, so it was exactly here, midnight 30. The data was like really, really bad, and the market was just going up and up and up. Okay, so this is how fundamental works. You need to get the data put all together and understand that it's not only the data, the numbers that will make sense for you. All right. Now, does anyone have any question towards this euro dollar presentation I've just done? Please ask me now. Everything clear? Okay, that's good. Yeah. So I got you the answer as well. Sweetie, yes, most probably we will get on a stuck on a range until the election is over about the bias. Yeah. Yeah, so no one have questions. Okay, that's good. That I think I've done my job then. So let's have a look on another thing here. All right. So if you look to the US dollar index that is right here, let me put it on a, sorry, let me put this on a line, and let me edit the US dollar 30-year bond. And let me put this on the 4 hours. There we go. Here. There we go. Okay. Now, can you see that the majority of the time, it's very, very rare that we see the 30-year bond getting like disconnected from the US dollar index, because they run together. So this happened on here, as we can see, just here. All right, 30-year bonds is here and US dollar index is here. So most probably US dollar index will come lower and US 30-year bonds will come higher, and then they will follow the path from there. So that means that euro dollar, there is a possibility of euro dollar getting up, and I'm believing on this trade for this reason. And of course, I'm waiting for the data coming good for Europe and bad for USA, and the elections getting over on Sunday, next Sunday, so we can see how the market will react towards that. But that is pretty much it. Okay, so they get selected from here and there and then here, and then now they're trying to get together again. The 10-year, I think I haven't checked it. I'm more likely to look at the 30, but I can have a look for you. Let me take this off. Okay, let me put this here. Yeah, same thing. Exactly same thing. The 10 years is on orange. It's looking bullish. It's looking bullish. You mean Eurodollar? You mean the DXY? Or you mean the 10 years? Either way, yeah, it does look bullish for Eurodollar here. All right, yeah, the 10 years. Yeah, it does look bullish. Yeah, we just have like a, if you would wish to say. But anyways, guys, yeah. So this is it from now. Let me get this back to candles, and let's have a look in all the pairs. So gold, I was looking at gold. I thought gold could come a little bit lower here to retrace it, but it didn't. But I still believe on a short position on gold. Okay. Even though if we break this level here, then yes, that could potentially cause a much strong down move on gold. Yes, so it's a go ahead, man, please. And another thing is that if we looked at oil, okay, oil is raising a lot as well because of the news that we just got from Trump. All right. Because when we see it, Trump is a very big supporter for oil companies and exporting oil and, all those kinds of stuff. So therefore, all the oil industry gets happy as well, and oil prices get higher. So yes, everything is pointing that Biden can actually lose, and that the market is much more happy than with Trump than Biden. What's the correlation between EUR/CHF and euro/dollar? EUR/CHF and USD/CHF. Okay, so EUR/CHF and USD/CHF. There's a very easy way for you to know correlations. Euro/dollar. And then we get plus USD/CHF, EUR/CHF, EUR/CHF. Or even, you know what I can do? Let me put this here and I will show to you. Let me grab euro/dollar here. Give me just a second. Until it loads, I can show you here. All right, this one gets to line and we can see that there is 0 to none correlation. All right, so pretty much not similar. All right, when euro/dollar is going down, EUR/CHF is going up. Oh, you mean on fundamentals? Okay. Yeah, they don't have correlations. They are negatively correlated on fundamentals, because if US dollar is strong, then euro is weaker. And if CHF is strong, then USD is weaker as well. So therefore, if you put the pieces together, it's not correlated positively. So that means one will be going to one side and another will be going to another side. They will, well, they can, but you know, following the methodology of correlation, they couldn't follow together for long period of time. All right, guys, this is it for today. I hope everyone enjoyed the class. I hope everyone could take some notes. And again, just revisiting all the content. So we had a look at the data from Europe and from US. Then we had a look on the gap that happened during the weekend because of the France on euro/dollar, because of the France elections. And then we went over what happened again on Tuesday midnight here in Sydney, that we had this huge gap up and gap down for, well, gap up and then all the way down for US dollar, euro/dollar. And then we wrap up having a look on what to expect for euro/dollar from now on. Yes, until election is over, maybe we can maintain on a range. Otherwise, we are going to the upside due to a very weaker US dollar and the correlation between the US dollar index and the 30 years US dollar 30-year bonds. All right, guys, I hope everyone have a beautiful week ahead. And I see everyone again back on Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. And if you have any questions, you're more than happy to ask on the comments of the videos, or if you feel comfortable, you can send me a message on the Telegram. All right, guys, see you. Bye-bye.